Hey, what's up, guys? How you doing? I hope you're having a great Friday. I just took a shower and I'm feeling fresh. I think I'm gonna go and watch the new James Bond movie. So it's all good. But before I leave, I wanted to show you and talk about a little trick, something that I don't know. I never came across a video that where it's mentioned. I mean, at least the way I'm gonna explain it, and I just learned this by trial and error. And it's very helpful, but it's not for everyone. So, I'm not imposing this as, oh, this is going to improve your music 100%. It's up to you, up to the genre of your choice, the type of music you're making, and the type of feel that you want to uh, print on, especially percussive sounds. This is a lot about percussions. And, this is MPC. It's a percussive instrument. We have pads. We have to play them the way we want to play them. And well, this is the thing. We have a value called velocity modulation, a section called velocity modulation, which you find in any of the drum programs. Now, this type of program, regular drum program. If you go to program edit, where you find master, samples, envelopes. Let me go from this section just so you know exactly where. Program edit. Oops. So again. Program edit. This one. We here, right? We can edit everything. And we have the envelope section where we see amplitude, velocity, amplitude, filters, and pitch. So we can create envelopes for all these three, right? And it's one of my favorite sections recently. I just find that there's so many. I found there's so many things we can do and play with to make sounds feel a bit more human. And this is what I'm mentioning. Like it might not be for everybody. Depends how you had your percussive sounds, like what type of feel you want. Because, for example, here, and this is a trick, or not trick, but well, you know what I'm saying, right? If you go to the amplitude section, you're gonna find on the right side these three values, and this is how they look normally. I'm gonna test this with a. This is a hat, just a hat sound. Amplitude will always be at 127 because if we reduce the range, this is basically the amplitude range. So if we make this value closer to 50, the closer we go to 0, the less dynamic range we'll have in the path. So basically every time, if I make it 0, this is basically full level. There won't be any variation in volume. Doesn't matter how you press the path, right? That's another tip. This wasn't the tip, but well, if that's what this does. So if you want to reduce the dynamic range of one of the pads or all the pads, the first value, right? But the second one, this is what the one I wanted to talk about, amplitude attack, amp attack. Let's check what it does. And sorry for the shaky camera, but my laptop is going crazy with these beats. So yeah, that's how it is. Amplitude attack, I'm gonna increase it. It should be 0. Should be 0 every time you load a program or every time you press the pads. It will always be 0, and it's up to you to increase it according to what you're trying to achieve. So check this out. I'm pressing it and I'm gonna start increasing it with my Q link. You can see my finger. What's happening here? What's happening with these soft touches, The attack changed because now the attack responds to the velocity. Basically, the closer I get to 127, the more the more the reaction. The attack will react to velocity the closer I get to 127. If I go 127 here and I press this very softly, it's almost not there, but if I press it hard, full volume. So this sorry, this one is basically doing this to my softest like velocity hits, right? But it's a sample and it's very short. So, it's a short sample. It's a hat. It's basically cutting the hat. Yeah, that's why I cannot hear anything here, because the sample is too short for this value. So this is what I'm doing. I increase the value, and normally for percussive sounds, a percussive sound means any hat, any short hit, any single thing that you hit and it produces a quick attack, attack, release, tail, milliseconds type of sound. This is perfect for that. Okay, so I get closer to probably 30 or 35 and I test the hat and I play with things. Sometimes I need 50, but I wouldn't really cross 50. I feel like 53, somewhere here, it's great. And why doing this? Because this is what actually happens when you play a percussion in real life. More or less, the attack also changes. When you're hitting a real hat, the attack is not the same always. It's not volume what changes when you hit things. It's also the feel, the impact, the sound of the impact, the metal. That's the real stuff. That's what you need to consider when you're playing these instruments. Like, you want your music to sound as if you were playing a real drum kit, or you want it to sound very digital, very futuristic, however you want to call it. If you're going for the human feel, increase these values every time for hats, shakers, tambourines. Check this out. Check the difference. I have this value of 37, right? Let me play this track, Percussions. Now let's compare that. Let me show you this other track I have. All my shakers and what you just heard, the velocity modulation was there. Like, these values were all at somewhere, just below 30, well, around 30 or 40. But let me show you exactly the same performance, the same track, with another drum program where I didn't touch this value. Let's see if you can hear the difference, and if you cannot, well, it's about comparing. But I was comparing before recording this video, and it's a big difference. Check this out. Where are you? Okay, check this out. Percussions. No velocity modulation, okay? Velocity modulation active. I'm gonna play for you now, an entire drum kit with kick, snare, hats, percussions, and bass, just to make it a bit more groovy. And I'll do the same comparison so you can compare, with and without. But for the type of music that I like and for what I do, this was perfect. I don't know why I didn't discover this before. I think this was before in this same section in the previous updates. Ever since we, the the first iteration of MPC Live, or in any MPCs actually. I'm pretty sure, but I never used it because I didn't know. So well, I just wanted you to know this is perfect. This is perfect for making your drums sound a bit more natural. Of course, there's more things that I'll show you in the next videos, especially the new features that we got with the recent update. But this one works very well. Just remember, there's no magic value. The only rule that I kind of discover is that after 50, it doesn't really worth it. It's too much. But before 50, here, amplitude, attack, velocity modulation. Between 20 and 40, it's gonna give you a great result, especially if you're playing hats with different velocity levels. If you're the type of person that never really feels like, oh, I don't need velocity in my hats because I do triplets, or I don't know, let me show you. It won't make a difference if your hats, oops. Where is it? Where is it? Let me go there. Okay, if your triplets sound like this, you don't need this. It won't make a difference. If this is how you want things to sound like, don't touch this value. It's gonna be a waste of time. It only matters if you're playing with 16 levels and velocity, for example. Lots of double hits. My bad. I think my table is not really firm, so that's why it's all shaky and shit, but well, sorry. The softest touch is changing the attack totally. It sounds very smooth. Like the attack metallic sound, like the crispiness, it's all gone. And it's like you almost like, you know, touching the hat. Like you're scratching the hat with the, you know, with the stick. It's like you're not doing much, but those are the kind of things that happen when you play real drum kits. So it's very cool that I feel cool for discovering this. I mean, cool and happy because yeah, it's making a difference. At least to me, like I can hear my drums that are closer to. I don't need them to sound like, oh, you know, it's a real. I don't want to pretend. You know, I have a studio and that's not the point. But when I play my pads, I want people to kind of feel the velocity when I'm doing things. And I feel in a groove and enjoying myself. I want people to feel it as much as possible. I just don't want it. I don't want it to be a change of gain and volume. Like it's also bad. And you know, we have in 16 level a decay option that's amazing as well. So imagine if you combine all these techniques. If you use 16 level, if you apply this value already, and you have a nice hat chopped, if you did everything right, there's no reason you cannot, you know, provide a performance that's human, basically. And I like that concept. You know, it's like the MPC is not. It's not the MPC that makes the music. It's us. And it's our groove, and it's our feel. And look, combine it with quantization, you know, subtle quantization just to fix mistakes. But I love that concept. I love the concept of, you know, human machine machine kind of in sync, and you know, the machine works for us. We're the ones making the music, the type of stuff. So well, that's all I wanted to say. Let me know. Maybe you already knew this. But if you already applied on your music, or if you, I don't know, found something else that is kind of related, please let me know. That would be very nice. Just to finish the video, I'm gonna compare to we're gonna compare the drum kit. It is three tracks, percussions, hats, and snares with no velocity modulation at all. And later I'm gonna play the one Smith modulation and then we close. I hope you noticed the difference. I did after couple tries. I was like, well, yeah, it's true. Like I can feel how the hats are more stiff. Notice how everything sounds a bit more digital and stiff. And in the first one, the second one, I mean, if I did a good job, you should feel like it's more natural, and there's more dynamics. There's more stuff going on. It sounds a bit more, full of life. So let's go. First attempt, no velocity modulation. Sorry, that was with velocity modulation. This one is velocity modulation. Like, this is the good one. Now, the next one, that's not velocity modulation at all. Let's go. 3, 2, 1. Quick switch to the good one. Maybe compare both clips. Remember, this last one is the good one. The previous was the stiff one. Let me know. I could probably tune this a little bit more and be a bit more aggressive with the value, but well, let's see. But it's definitely there. It's a fact. Like that thing works. So I hope you find this useful. Please subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know, if anything. I'm here to be part of the community and hang out. So enjoy your weekend, and see you next time. Cheers.